Hi there! Day one of summer gaming activities begins. I can't even call it E3 because there's like 5 different organizations doing things. It's a delight to be here with you to kick this off with what I feel are the best bits of the Summer Games Fest kickoff yesterday, which I'm gonna be honest is not much. I had a list of 6 games that I thought about covering, but one of them is basically a musical performance, and since we're not doing the sound, it's not gonna really help. That was Sable, and the song by Japanese Breakfast was beautiful, and it worked really well with the aesthetics of that game, so I recommend checking that out on your own. But in the context of not having the sound on, it's going to make it a little bit difficult. So I'm going to skip that. Children of the Light, I think is the actual title. Got a brief little La Petite Prince / Switch release date announcement, but it was so short that I just don't feel like I'm going to include it here. So those are the 2 of the 6 that I won't be showing. But the majority of the kickoff just wasn't for me, and there was not a whole lot of Switch stuff. In fact, we're covering 3 things that aren't even on the Switch at all as of right now today. But I thought they looked good, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about those. So what we're going to do is this will be combined with the IGN thing that's happening a little bit later on today. And I'm not even going to do the Summer Games Fest stream at all for this particular piece. I've pulled up the 4 trailers. We're just going to watch those on loop while I talk about them and go from there. So again, we will have no sound. We're going to have background music, so it's not completely just my voice. And as you might tell, this is super early in the morning because I just wanted to get this done. So let's just make sure our focus is good before we jump in. And we'll just edit this out so it's not something you have to worry about. This monitor's pretty good. Alright, I think we're as focused as we're going to get. So let's jump back in. Nope, that seems worse. Let's see how that looks once it runs. So the first piece of our Summer of Games Fest, I don't remember what the silly thing's called. Summer Games Fest. The first thing for Summer Games Fest is the second thing they showed, which I also think was the best thing they showed. We'll go ahead and just get that started. .emu once again pulling out all the production values for their titles following the Ninja Turtles game. We got a Metal Slug's Tactics game, which is brilliant. Such a brilliant evolution, I suppose. Transition, I think might be better, of the Metal Slug arcade games into a different genre. I can't think of a better fit than a tactics game for Metal Slug, and what we're seeing is beautifully done. It looks like they just took the old sprite work and tweaked it a little bit, and it looks great. This animated intro is incredible. It just gives me some super strong Cowboy Bebop vibes, and I love it. It's also goofy, and that's like one of the things about Metal Slug that endeared it to me personally, is that it has a sense of humor about it, and this captures that beautifully. So I'm very excited for this game. The unfortunate thing is, as of right now, .emu only has it planned for PC, which is disappointing. I don't see any reason for it to not be running on the Switch or the other consoles. So my hope is that PC will not be the only thing this comes out on. Now, the unfortunate thing that I do feel I should bring up is that SNK is kind of getting gobbled up by the Prince of Saudi Arabia in terms of their stock. I don't know the exact count off the top of my head, but it is like at least 30% of SNK's stock is owned by the Prince of Saudi Arabia, and he's not a great guy, we'll just say. He's murdered journalists, done several other human rights abuses, particularly with women. It's just not good. And it's one of those things where you just, it's like, I'm fairly blatant when I talk about stuff about video game companies. I've talked about Ubisoft and Icalis. So I feel like I had to just say something about the situation with SNK. It's unfortunate because SNK, the company, the game developer and publisher, seem to be fairly isolated. I mean, they're doing some awesome stuff, but they don't seem to be like having any say in what's going on here. And I don't know how much the Prince is flexing on development choices. I really don't. It's just unfortunate. And there's not much that can be done. I mean, he's also got stock in Activision and Take-Two and in Electronic Arts. So who's to stop him from doing more companies? So it's just an unfortunate thing. I have two mice here. I'm getting confused. It's an unfortunate thing. I won't just leave it on this art because it's absolutely gorgeous and I need to figure out who did it. So I just felt like I need to throw that caveat out there just in case you weren't aware. The game itself looks amazing. I hope it comes to more than just Steam. Like here, Studios, a group I'm not familiar with. I'll have to see what else they've done. But for everything that I've seen about the game looks great. It's just unfortunate about SNK's situation. I suppose the good news is that with this particular title, SNK's probably already got their money. Because .emu is developing and publishing it with Lake Care Studio. So, at the very least, there's that. But, you know, then there's like King of Fighters 15, which is something I'm still covering on my site because I'm excited about it. So, I don't know. It's just a tricky thing, and I wish it wasn't like this. I really do. We'll have to have a talk about this in more detail outside of E3 Deluxe commentary on trailers. So we'll talk about this in a future episode of Levels Plus Weekly. Alright. Next up on the list is Tales of Arise from Bandai Namco. We haven't had a Tales game in a while. In fact, I'm even having trouble remembering the last time there was a Tales game before Arise. This looks great. This is the best looking Tales game in terms of character design in a long time, in my opinion. And I love the way the battle engine's looking great. This character design here is awesome. I love her. Just, you know, beyond the almost expected breastplate armor. She looks awesome compared to the other two women in the cast wearing skirts. Totally down with that design. This trailer is also different for Tales because it's kind of like it's like Elden Ring, which was also shown at this, but I'm not going to show it here. It's got that vibe to it. It's like Bandai Namco just decided to have kind of edgy trailers, which is fine. But this is the best looking Tales game in a long time, probably since Vespera for me. So I am interested in it. It's not coming to Switch, so I'm not going to be getting it anytime soon, but I think it looks pretty promising, so I just wanted to share that. This is Solar Ash. It's really brief, so we'll probably see it a couple times. Heart Machine developed Hyper Light Drifter, which I still haven't played yet. I don't know why I haven't bought it. I need to just commit to it. Solar Ash is their next game. It's 3D, and it still looks amazing. It's an incredibly visually slick game. The gameplay that I've seen looks fun, and you know, hopping on this sand ash bird, breaking all the things. The movement is solid. It might be a little hard to see on here, but it just looks gorgeous. I'm pretty into this game. I don't think it's coming to Switch though. Thank you, IGN, for the perfectly timed annotations. I don't think it's coming to Switch though, so I guess I have nothing for Switch from Summer Games Fest. And last but not least for this part is Thunderful, and I believe Wistful or Wishfully's Planet of Lana. This is a completely hand-painted platforming adventure game that looked stunning. It actually reminds me of a couple games I've played recently. Not so much Gris, because this seems a little bit more action-packed than Gris is. But like Out of This World, Another World, it reminds me a bit of that with very modern graphics. But it's very, very beautiful. And Thunderful is the publishing arm of Image and Form, who make the SteamWorld games. So I feel like this is a great fit for them. And aesthetically, this is really exciting to me, but it's only for Xbox and PC right now. Which is good to see Xbox actually getting some indie stuff exclusive to it, because Sony's been doing a decent job. In fact, Sony had a little blurb in the Summer Games Fest, which had Chicory, which looks adorable, and I probably would have featured it here if it was a little bit longer. But yeah, this game looks amazing. I'm really interested to see more of it. And that was what caught my attention over at the Summer Games Fest, was those four, plus the two I mentioned at the tip top of the hour. As well as Chicory too, I suppose. So that's it. So on the whole, I would rank Summer Games Fest Kickoff a C-. It started fairly strong. I mean, it started with a Gearbox game, so I didn't care. But then it did Metal Slug Tactics, and I'm like, what? What is this? And then it never really got up to that level again. Elden Ring's exciting for people that like Souls games. Absolutely. So that was great to see that show up. But the way the Souls games are designed just work against the way I play games. At this point, I'm not in it to be challenged. I'm not in it to fight systems to learn how to best optimize my playthrough so I can get through a really hard boss. That's just not how I play games anymore. So I just can't get excited for Elden Ring beyond going, ooh, it's pretty. It's got, or ooh, that's great boss design. I'll watch it from afar, but that's about as far as it's ever gonna go. But there was just some really awkward segments. There was an interview, I forget the full name, but Giancarlo from Far Cry 6. That was really long. There was also a really long discussion with Kojima that really didn't go anywhere beyond the Death Stranding director's cut. And like the goofiest, let's crap on Metal Gear trailer I think I've seen Kojima do yet. You'll know it if you see it. It really was poking fun at Metal Gear. But that combo was very long, and it's like Kojima's like, I can't talk about what I'm doing. So it seemed pointless, other than Jeff loving himself some Kojima, to the point that it's almost an obligation that Kojima shows up somehow in his things. Weezer performed a song. It was the most generic Weezer song I've heard in quite some time. But that was a thing. That was 4 minutes. Yeah, and then like there was a huge Call of Duty section, which, yes, I realize the influence of Call of Duty, but it is just not anything that I care about. And then like there was an Overwatch 2 thing, but it was like, look at how we've designed these characters, and it's like, and then there was like a couple things like, here's a new publisher, here's a new developer. Didn't show anything for the new developer, but here they are. And a couple like teaser things that were so short, like there was a Valorant character thing teased that was so short that even Jeff himself commented on it. So it's just like the world premiere culture that has really come up with games needs to dial it back a bit, because I can't imagine that a Valorant player was that excited to see 15 seconds that didn't really even show anything beyond like a skin. And it just seems silly. Fall Guys had a trailer for a 2B skin from Nier Automata, which at least showed gameplay. It was cute, but it's like, was that really worth a world premiere thing to show the next skin for Fall Guys at this point? I don't know. It's just, Summer Games Fest was basically what I expected it to be, which was a couple things that caught my interest and a lot of things that don't. So we're gonna take a break. There's no cat intermissions for E3 shenanigans, so we'll edit in. I'll probably actually watch IGN live and live react, so we won't have any looping trailers. So, see you in a second. Welcome to the second half of my debut video for E3 plus stuff. I need to mute this. I actually do have IGN Expo playing, but they've got a pre-show and they're talking about World War Z, and I don't care. So I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't really know what IGN's going to show. We're just gonna go along and see what happens. And I'll react as necessary if I feel. I'm gonna try to not edit this horribly, because I just kind of want to do it and just not have to put out a whole lot of work. I have a feeling as much as I don't want to edit this, that I should, because I'm gonna be just sitting here silently more than I would probably like, unless I actually get really into something. Alright, so we're gonna be seeing a boxing game. I seem to remember just before this that Nintendo Everything put up an article about this game. It's been a while since there's been a boxing game, but I'm not really into sports games. So just not really all into that. I'm glad that it's proving to be more of the Rocky universe than just the most recent one. So if you're into the Rocky films and you like boxing video games, this doesn't look bad. It looks a little bit arcadey, which is good. It looks a lot better than the last time I saw it, which I think was at a Nintendo thing. Yeah, look, it looks a lot better now. but I don't have a whole lot of interest in that. Oh, we're just moving right into the next one. Just keep this up. This looks interesting. Oh, it's a Frogwares game. Looks like a new Sherlock Holmes game. That's kind of their bread and butter. I haven't played any of those. I don't play PC games much, if at all, so I don't really know anything about Frogwares beyond that. I think they did The Sinking City, and they had a really messy breakup with their publisher for that game. That's still kind of happening. I don't think this is a Sherlock Holmes game. But it is a detective game of some kind, it seems. This is a pretty cool trailer. Pretty cool trailer. It is a Sherlock game. Well, it's good to see that they are continuing the Sherlock Holmes games. Looks good. Not for Switch, so can't say I'm that excited. Yeah, I'm kind of over this type of indie title with this look. It's a little overdone now, I think. It's kind of neat with the open world seeming building premise, but I've seen this so much. The animation's not particularly great. I wish it was something more. A game that will unnerve you, it says. Well, let's see what this is. It seems to be a spacey thing. Oh. Plus. Oh, wow. So they're actually going to probably be bringing this to consoles? This game is wild. I remember watching people play this. I never have played it, but it's fascinating. Oh, they've added new content, updated the visuals, more music, an art gallery. Yeah, this game goes places. It's wild. Yep, it's come to everything. It's about time. And it looks like there's even a physical edition. That's cool. I don't know if I want to buy it, because I've kind of seen it, but it was a really, really revolutionary game, I think, in a lot of ways. Well, let's see what's next. Slow Clap. So this is their beat 'em up game. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, because it's not a Switch game. I pay really close attention to Switch stuff, and a lot less so for things that are not on the Switch. This game looks good, though. I like the premise. That is, as you fail, you get older. It's kind of a cool way to tweak that rogue element. A little more diversity in the enemies here. stuff in the environment. I remember that from an earlier trailer, but this particular sequence is new. Looks like there's boss fights. Sifu, that's what it's called. This is apparently a Lego game. I am very confused by this trailer. Very confused by this trailer. Okay. So is this a game building tool that you can use to make your own environments? Because that would be neat. Perhaps a little less neat. I'm very confused by what this is. It's kind of a cool behind the scenes of how they did the environments in this game. But it doesn't really explain anything about what the game is. Okay. Apparently it's an open world Wild West game that they decided to show the trailer for how they made the world versus any gameplay. Alright. I feel like I've seen this before. This is kind of a common look too. It's becoming a little bit more common to have like these flat colors. But I do really kind of dig it a lot more than that very simple voxel look. I like that it's bold in its own way, and I like the art style for this game. But I don't really know what it's about. Is it a skating? Oh, this is that skating game. I remember now. I wonder if there's more to the game than just skating. I think this is coming to Switch. So, yeah, I mean, if I would love to have a skating game. I haven't played one since Tony Hawk's Underground. I hope you can maybe customize your skater. That would be rad. Or just pick from the wide variety of them. Ollie World, yeah, that's right. So yeah, I hope that there's a little bit more customization with it. But that game looks promising. It's a Switch game too, so yay. Saber Interactive. I don't care about anything Embracer Group does, and unfortunately Saber is under them now, so I guess I'm just not going to care about whatever this is. Anyway, Skatebird. I'm actually really excited about this game. Because you're a bird. You're just skateboarding. In this cute little environment. And it's got this jamming soundtrack. You get to dress up your bird. And it's coming along. And it's also coming to Switch. Love the bird with the sunglasses. This bird's got headphones. And you can be different types of birds. And look at that. You can jump off of a really high thing and just flap. Oh, there's actually story. You get to talk to the other birds. See, I'm into this game. I like this a lot. This is a cool idea. The devs seem really cool too. So yeah, I am weirdly excited for Skatebird. Oh, I like some of Humble's stuff. Oh, this bride works nice. I want to unpack a box. Yay. I actually really enjoyed that type of thing. Oh, this game's already intriguing me because I want to know what it's about. Is it just like a home decorating game? Because I actually would be kind of into that, to be frank. I remember when I played Morrowind spending a lot of time spent like decorating a house, and was kind of bummed when Skyrim didn't have that versatility, that it was kind of a preset. So what is this game? So it's called Unpacking. It is for Switch. I don't know, it's probably just a puzzle game, but that's cool. And we saw 2 Point Campus yesterday during the Summer Gaming Fest thing. But unless this is coming to Switch, I don't think I'm going to be that interested. I don't remember if this was coming to Switch or not. 2 Point Hospital is supposedly pretty good, and this is by the same people. I work at a university, so running my own university, it could be entertaining, just from that perspective. But my thing with these types of games, generally speaking, is that I need to have some like investment. If it's basically you create an environment and everything's randomized, it's kind of hard for me to get into it because there's no like narrative purpose. If that makes any sense. I do like having some narrative with most of my games. Yes, it is coming to Switch. So I think that's a cool extension of that brand. Now we're going to get to see some of these really fancy 1-Up cabinets that Arcade 1-Up announced. So this is a Street Fighter II blue cabinet release, but it's got more on it. It's got 12 games, 3 Street Fighter, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, 2 Darkstalkers, Saturday Night Slam Masters, Capcom Sports Club, a couple others I can't remember, and then a new Ninja Turtles arcade machine, which has both the arcade games on it, but this is the Turtles in Time variant. I think I'm going to probably just be content with the .emu new release on that. I find it funny they called that an exclusive though, because that was announced already. I've already read about those. So, I don't know anything about this game. Strange. So this is doing some time stuff. So it looks like it's got some spooks to it. So, yeah, this is kind of reminding me of an older game that I can't quite put my finger on. But that's not... It is actually coming to Switch. I just barely saw it. But I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. That seems interesting, but I'm not sure if that's really my type of game. This is a new isometric computer-based RPG, I'm assuming. These types of games I wish I could get into more, but there's something about, at least it's turn-based. I did hear turn-based. The enemies aren't moving. So I do like that. That's a promising sign. But I don't know anything about what this is yet. It looks alright. Whatever it is. It's got big skill trees. And looks like you get to develop cities, maybe. Get to ride a horse. And they control monsters, too. I've discovered that my strategy tactical RPG things are really like in the Fire Emblem camp or the Ogre Battle camp. Or the XCOM camp. So this is a new Disciples game. I think I've heard of that before. But it is not coming to Switch, so... Oh, Streets of Rage 4! Finally, something that I'm excited about. I'd love a release date for this and know how much it's supposed to cost. I imagine it's going to be 10 to 20 bucks. Yeah, the new characters look great. Granted, they were already all in the game already. But I'm excited for more Streets of Rage 4. I was really, really pleased with that game. So it's good to see a little bit more gameplay of it, but we're not going to see anything else. What's this? You're a little person. You got to do some mining. So this kind of reminds me a bit of Stardew Valley, but a little more actiony. And, I guess, magical. This is kind of neat. I'm kind of digging this. So there's some farming stuff in here. It looks like there's some multiplayer element to it. Ooh, big bug. Very big bug. And there's a big goop. Big goopy thing. Core Keeper. I need to quit bumping this. Looks like that's a Steam-only release as of right now, but it looks neat. Oh yeah, I remember this game. I think it's such a cool idea to base a game on the artwork in old manuscripts. Yeah, I kind of dig this whole idea. It'd be nice to see a little bit more on it. I don't remember where I saw it before, though, because it didn't say anything about it coming to any console. Oh, this is a weird trailer. Alright, so this is based on a band.
tombstone. So you create a band to compete against them. So it's kind of like it's a card-based rhythm game. Interesting. Well, this is a cool premise. Very unique. This is the type of thing I like to see, is bold genre combining. Looks like that's a Steam-only release. Neat. Welcome back. Ooh, I like the art for this a lot. Sorry I'm being so quiet. I'm very intrigued by this. Aesthetically, this is amazing. This game's got some visual style. This is interesting. I'm gonna guess this is not for Switch, because this has really, really beautiful environments and effects going on. Blacktail. Yeah, that's a cool looking game. Whoa, it's an actual Switch game. Ooh. What in the world is this game? This is an expansion to something that I'm not familiar with. Probably because this has some Dark Souls-y stuff. I know I've seen this game, I just can't remember what it's called. Really nice sprite work, though. Yeah, the sprite work in this game is incredible. It's really well done. But Death's Gambit Afterlife. You know, I want to say I remember Death's Gambit, but I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look and see if that's on the Switch in its current state. Slightly intrigued by that one. Alright, what's this? Oh, this has nice sprite work. Overhead shooter. Looks like you probably get to develop your own ship. This is pretty neat. I like this. This gives me some Slight Skies of Arcadia done in real time vibes.
I like that. Not in terms of the art style, because the art style certainly is not Skies of Arcadia. But I'm always down with this type of air piracy stuff. Can you expand your ship? Grab supplies? Or is this all action all the time with this game? Oh good, craft and customize. That answers my question. Yeah, if this is on the Switch, I would potentially be interested in this. I think Tiny Build has released stuff on the Switch before. Ooh, that's a big bug. That's a problem. And I really like the emphasis on her. Black Skylands. So no consoles on that one. Alright, let's see what this is. Okay, we got some steampunk going on here. Steel Rising. Neat. Kinda reminded me of Dishonored a little bit. Alright. The old video game trope of crystal shattering. This is well animated. It's cute. Unbound Worlds Apart. Wow, I barely even had time to read that. Alright, we're back. Oh, those in-between segments. Ooh. The art style ended up being a bit more realistic than I expected. That first shot really looked like it had something more than just a realistic art style. Oh, we got spookies. Spoopies. This looks like it's trying to go for some old school Silent Hill, Resident Evil vibes. I think definitely more on the Silent Hill side of things. That running animation needs a little bit more work. Yeah, this is definitely trying to channel back those really old school, early survival horror games, I think. Which is great. It's good to see someone try to do that, because clearly Capcom and Konami aren't doing that anymore. Let's see what this is. It's a space game. We are in space. We can go spacing. And this might be something for the Rogue Squadron fans. It looks visually impressive. You get to build your own ship. And apparently it's got, it's also got spooks. Apparently we are in the spooky run of trailers right now. Haunted Space. Cool. I don't think that's a game for me, but neato. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera with my feet. So this is a team-based first-person horror game? Or is it a solo thing and you just have partners? I haven't seen this game before, so I don't really know what to say about it. Huh. Yeah, this looks like a B-tier survival horror game. Oh, you got a mild crafting system. Some team recruitment, it seems. I'm very confused by the general premise, though. All right, well, that was a thing. So let's briefly talk about the overall Summer Games Fest opening and IGN's Expo. As I said earlier, I feel like Summer Games Fest was a C-. They had some decent stuff in there, and Metal Slug Tactics truly was a surprise. But outside of that, there wasn't anything that really made me like stand up and go, wow, that was exceptional beyond Metal Gear. I'm thinking of Death Stranding Director's Cut. Metal Slug Tactics. Although I'm sure a lot of people were very excited to finally see Elden Ring. IGN, on the other hand, my shirt represents how I feel about that event. Jeez. That was rough. That was a rough show, not really worth tuning in for. Honestly, the hosts were really obnoxious, really obnoxious. And through the whole thing, the biggest high-profile thing I think that they revealed was Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Which is coming to consoles, so that's cool. That game is really intriguing and fascinating and morbid and dark, so I won't be buying it and playing it. I watched somebody go through it already. I'm good, but it's the type of game that I think needed to actually be more available, so good on them for continuing on. But like, there was a couple games I got kind of like pretty excited by, but I can't tell you anything beyond Skatebird right now. So I guess Skatebird's my game of show for IGN Expo because that's all I remember the name of. There was some really cool indie stuff on there, but clearly all the big companies
didn't want to have a whole lot to do with it outside of Gearbox. That was really the only, like, the big studio that showed up. So I gotta give the IGN Expo like a D- because of the format more than anything else. There was some cool stuff shown, but overall there was very little there for me personally, and nothing that made me like stand up and like scream to the heavens like this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So overall, we're kind of sitting in that nice little D+ range. But these are pre-shows. E3 hasn't fully started yet, and there's been some good stuff. I'm not gonna like knock everything. The biggest problem with Summer Games Fest and IGN Expo is the format. I just don't care to have people, personalities, I guess, trying to be funny through all of this, and Jeff does it better because he's done this for a while. The IGN hosts, I'm sure, worked out great for their audience, but I'm not their audience. I haven't been for a long time, and just it got to the point that I muted them because I was like, they were being so corny and so annoying. Oh man. You probably won't see a whole lot of that in this video, because I'm going to edit it all out. As well as the commercials, unless I had a poignant thing to say. But we'll see what the next couple days holds. Tomorrow, in terms of what I will probably tune into, there's a wholesome direct. That'll be fun. There's a lot of really charming games that come out there. And we might see some of the games that actually were in IGN Expo show up there, like that Unpacked game. That seems like a game that would be in that market. But that's probably what I'm going to film. I'm going to probably look at Devolver, but not film it. And if there's something from Nomada Studio that shows up, I'll record a separate thing and I'll attach it to the wholesome direct at the end. That's what I'm looking for, is a Nomada Studio announcement from Devolver. But they could be doing something on their own. But I think if that was the case, we would have seen it in one of these, because Gris was a really well-known game. So we'll see you, I guess, Sunday morning, because I'm sure, I don't remember what Devolver's thing is. It's in the evening, I think. So I might get that up. It's going to depend on how long it takes to render everything with the wholesome direct, which shouldn't be as choppy. I shouldn't have to edit that as much, because they don't tend to have hosts that just do bad jokes on and on and on. Sheesh. I knew that this was going to be rough. I knew it before I even got into it. But anyway, welcome to E3, I guess. Got through the rough stuff, so hopefully it'll climb way up and culminate with a mind-blowing Nintendo Direct. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more on Summer Game Festival Frenzy Fest 3. Take care.